right, Hinky7729, shout out to you, man. That's a great question, by the way. So with the acoustics in my room, when I first moved into here, I was actually at a building, and I just started to realize, like, I wasn't getting a lot of traffic doing that. I was just spending a lot more money. So found a place that literally the whole entire basement was totally gutted. And it was like, okay, I can build what I want here. So in the case of what we did is I couldn't change this. I couldn't change. What in the world is that? Oh, that's my robot. I was listening upstairs, dude. I got a robot cleaning my house. Yeah, dude, we're high five, buddy. So this was like 7'9", almost 8 foot. And what I did is I went on Google and I started researching golden ratios for room dimensions based on getting the flattest response of your speakers. There's another software, so make a note of this if you're out there. It's called REW. R is in Randy, E is in Elephant, W is in Washington. And it is a freeware. You can donate to them, but you can actually simulate speakers in the room before you actually put the speaker in. So in my monitoring path, if you look back here, these are Bauer & Wilkins 801 Matrix limited edition speakers that I got off of a gentleman in Chicago. These are the same speakers that you heard or was used by Abbey Road Studios before they actually upgraded to the newer version of Bauer & Wilkins. And I would say all the years I've done this, I've had Focals, I've had the Focal Solos, Trios, I've had Behringers, I've had Truth monitors, I've had Event monitors, so I've like done a lot of monitoring, and that's like not even, I mean, that's from like the lowest scale to the higher end Trios. And I will say this, I plugged these in my second room, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use these in the second room when I was at the building, and I started doing mixes on them, and they just sounded so good. And people said, what'd you change? So I was doing a lot of mixes, and they're like, what did you change? What did you do? Did you add a new converter? Did you, because some of the guys that I work with, they're curious. And I said, no, I'm using different monitors. So those became my go-to monitors. It was one of those divine things to me. It was like, why am I driving to Chicago to pick up some monitors off of a guy that just offered me, a significant decrease from what I wanted to trade him? But it was like, no, you're going to go do this. This is what you need. So I'm so glad I did. Shout out to him. And these monitors are really flat. And I'm going to show you on the screen the second part of my monitoring. So the first thing is I have Prime Acoustics, which I got from Sweetwater. It's the bigger kit. I wanted to really control this room, but it's big enough where it still throws. It's not dead. It's not dull. I like these Prime Acoustic. I believe it's the London kit. But we also added 2 bass traps, which I think they're called Mondo traps or Max traps. They have loaded vinyl, and then it has an air gap, and then the actual trap is a little bit bigger, so the part that absorbs, and then it has that air gap that it creates, and it's easy to hang and stuff. But I didn't want to spend the money on them. I was like, man, I want to do this myself. And I realized, you know what, dude, that's gonna be a lot of work. And these have really helped the bass image, and I'm going to show you. So as a mixing engineer, I don't like flat, okay? So what happened with me is you can see that I'm actually building this up. So this is me custom EQing. So I'm using the Arc Studio. It's right back here. The Arc Studio just for the EQ functionality. Now you can see this. The left is before. The right is after. Okay, so it's left is green, and then whatever that color, the red. I got like a colorblind deficiency, but I'm not correcting a lot. And I like the bass boost, and I'm going to tell you why. Because that's how people listen to music. And I started getting used to that, like having that increase, but it's flat. So if you look from like 200, it starts to slope up. I've always liked that because everybody that I mix for, I have a tendency to want to hear it when they boost the bass. So that's a trick out there if you guys, that might work for you as well. So my flat has like a 6 dB jump, okay, but it's still flat across the frequency response. And then you can see it's really not correcting much. It's correcting a bump or a little bit of a jump around 60, 70 hertz, but that little bit does matter. And then the next thing is I use these little iLouds. I got rid of some NS10s. I've had the Avantones. These just work for me, man. And you can see here the Amari, that's the DA. We're playing back right now. Actually, I'm hooked up to the Pure 2. It's an awesome setup, man. Awesome monitoring. So this is my main monitor out, and we're not even running the main monitor out on this. The only thing I am using is my alt monitor, where then I have control over the smaller one. So that makes it good if you're tracking, if you just want to hear it on the small system. I like, in my monitor setup, and this is something else that I've started, but I will get a rough mix on these. I will mess with my dynamics on these. I will, you know, get a basic blend of volumes and try to get it to sound as good as I possibly can on here. Then I'll kick it over to these Bauer & Wilkins. And one of the biggest things you'll notice on these is you'll notice that the bass is like way too much. So they're so accurate. It's so good at getting that 200 and down, just blended in. So that's my monitoring setup. It's two 801s from Bauer & Wilkins. It's little iLoud minis. And then I have a room over there with iLouds for Atmos. But yeah, that's my monitoring setup, man. And then we started the room, just to recap, we started the room based off of golden ratios for room acoustics. And we used REW. And I actually used a microphone with this Arc Studio. Go check it out. Really cool, man. And it's very affordable. Those have come way down in price. So my name's Doug Jenkins. Hope that helps. We'll keep pumping them out if I can do the videos like this. It's a lot easier with the iPhone, right, Miles? Yeah, that's what I thought.